Good evening and welcome to Netzach Israel's daily Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Tonight we're going to start Siman Lamed Daled, Hilchot Stoka, the halachas of giving charity. Avoid Science Ifin, it contains 16 Seifim. Tonight, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to do the first 6. Seif Aleph. Mitzvah Sasei Litin Stoka L'Aniyei Yisrael. It's a positive command in the Torah to give charity to poor Jewish people. Later on, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch will explain that one should also give charity to non-Jewish people, but the mitzvah specifically is to give to Jewish people. Shneimar, as it says in the pasuk in Devarim, "Pasayach tiftach es yadcha lo," you should surely open your hand to him. V'neimar, and it also says, "V'chei achicha imach," and your brother shall live with you. V'chei v'chol haraya ani mevakesh v'helim einim mimenu v'lo nasan lo tzedakah. And anyone who sees a poor person who is asking for money and he hides his eye from him and doesn't give him charity, over Balaisasi is transgressed also a negative commandment in the Torah. Shneimar, as it says in Vayikra, Lois amit tzlavavcha v'loisikva yadcha, you shouldn't close your heart, nor should you shut your hands, me'achicha evyain, from your brother who is poor. Hadstaka Siman Lazar Avraham Avinu. Giving charity is a sign that one is descended from Avraham Avinu, from our father Abraham. Shneimar, as it says in Devarim, Ki yadativ for I know him, that he will command his children, etc., to perform charity. The throne of Israel will not be established, and the true faith will not stand without charity. Shneimar, as it says in Yeshaya, I shall be established through charity. Giving charity is greater than all of the sacrifices. Shneimar, as it says in Koheles, who does charity and judgment is chosen to Hashem, is preferred by Hashem, mizavach, from a sacrifice. In Israel, and the Jewish people will only be redeemed through the merit of giving charity. Shneimar, as it says in Isaiah and Yeshaya, that Zion will be redeemed through judgment, and those who return to her through charity. A person will never become poor from giving charity. And no bad thing or damage will ever occur to someone as a result of them giving charity. Shneimar, as it says also in Yeshaya, and that the deed of charity will be peace. The way of charity will be peace. Shulchan Aruch carries on by talking about the amazing things about giving charity. Anyone who is merciful, Hashem will be merciful back to him. Shneimar, as it says in Devarim, and he will give to you mercy, and he will have mercy on you, and he will make you flourish. And anyone who is cruel, we have to doubt his lineage as to whether he's really descended from Avraham Avinu. We know that Hashem, the Holy One, blessed be He, is close to the cry of the poor. Shneimar, as it says in Eov, v'tzakas aniyim yishma, and the cry of the poor He hears. Lefikach, therefore, one needs to be particularly careful with their cry. Sharei b'ris kursalahem, for a covenant has been established with them, with the poor. Shneimar, as it says in Shemois, v'hoya ki yitzak elai v'shamati, and it will be when he cries out to me, and I will hear, because I am merciful. It says in Gemara Yerushalmi, although the Poskim point out that this isn't in Yerushalmi at all, but this is in Medrash, Shir and Rabbah, the door which will not open for the poor will open for the physician. So clearly Hashem is listening out for them. A person should give according to his heart. So a person should bear in mind, a person should realize that he is requesting all the time his livelihood from Hashem. And just as a person requests that HaKadosh Baruch Hu listens to his pleas and to his prayers, likewise he will listen to the cry of the poor. A person should also put to his heart, a person should also realize and think about that the wheel of fortune is continually turning. And at some point will come when, if not him, maybe his son or his grandson or some descendant will need to be on the receiving end of charity. A person should never dream of thinking, how can I reduce my own wealth by giving it to the poor? Because the person needs to know that the wealth that one has is not his own, but rather a deposit, to do with it the will of the depositor, meaning Hashem has just given it to us temporarily to look after, and we need to use it in the best possible way. And this is his portion from all his hard work in this world. As it says in Yeshaya, that your charity will go before you. And giving charity pushes away evil decrees and adds on to one's life. Seif base. How much does one need to give? Everyone needs to give charity according to what they can afford. Even a poor person who gets fed himself from charity, even if one who is on the receiving end of charity, he still needs to find someone to give charity to. A good guy, for example, a person has a little bit of his own money, but he can't do business with it, and he's allowed to take charity because he doesn't have the principal money invested in order to live off the profits. And nonetheless, since he has with what to live, he is obligated to give some charity from what was given to him. And even if he's only able to give a little bit, he shouldn't prevent himself. Because the little bit of a poor person is considered equal to that of a lot of money from a rich person. Likewise, our teachers of blessed memory said, the Gemara Menachos, there's 3 pesukim in Vayikra regarding an oila behema, sacrificing an animal which is fully burnt, a large animal. It says in the pasuk, Ishe reach nichayach, a fire offering, a pleasing aroma. Of oilas oif, Ishe reach nichayach. And it says the same 3 words, Ishe reach nichayach, a fire offering, a pleasing aroma, regarding offering up a bird, which is obviously much smaller. V'minchas Ishe reach nichayach, and with a mincha also, which isn't even an animal, it's not even a bird, it's just a bit of flour and oil, a bit of dough. It also says these same 3 words, a fire offering, a pleasant aroma. Lo malachah, to say to you, to teach you, echad amarbeh ve'echad amamit, whether a person gives a lot to charity, whether a person gives a little to charity, it's all the same on condition that a person directs his heart to his Father in heaven. But someone who only literally has as much as he can afford to live, such a person is not obligated to give charity because his own livelihood precedes everyone else's. Seif Gimel. Now that we've learnt how much people need to give, how much does everyone need to receive? How much do you give to a poor person? So the Pasuk tells us in the Devarim, that a person needs to give one enough in order to meet all of his needs. That means, for a poor person that receives secretly, the men of the city are obligated to give this person everything that he needs in order that he should be regular, in order that he should be comfortable with what he had before he became poor. So in other words, someone who's embarrassed because they've lost their wealth, you're obligated to do your utmost to bring them back to a comfortable place. But a poor person who goes collecting door to door, we just need to give them a small gift according to their standing. And as a bare minimum, everyone in each city needs to give this person bread and food enough for 2 proper meals, and a place to stay, 2 daily meals. And we need to give charity, we need to provide livelihood and clothe the poor people, even of idolaters. So we're not even just talking about people, good people around you, but even of idolaters, along with the poor people of Israel, because of the rule of Darkei Shalom, literally the ways of peace, to uphold the peace. Sif Dalet. How much should a person give as charity? The first year they give charity, they should give the principal. In other words, a tenth of the principal, a tenth of what they own. From then on, they should give a tithe, 10% from the profit that they profit every year. In some editions of Kitzur and Aruch, he's got the extra 3 words, chutz mitzarkei beisai, that excluding the basic household needs. Oh, that's not in every edition. This is an average trait. In other words, it's not stingy, it's not particularly generous. I really ideal if a person can, that they should give, on the very first year they give charity, they should give 20%. And again, continue giving 20% of the profit. And a person should not give more than a fifth, in order that he shouldn't need after that to be on the receiving end of charity themselves. And here in the Shiurim Matzunim B'Halacha, he brings that his quotes here from the Shulchan says that specifically applies to regular charity, but to be machzik Torah, that means to support schools and yeshiva institutions, etc., then there isn't that limit, and a person is allowed to give more than 20%. And this specifically applies all the days of one's life, while one's alive. But on one's deathbed, when a person doesn't need to be worried that he's going to be on the receiving end of charity later on, one can give a third of one's possessions to charity. A person should not give from this 10% charity for a mitzvah that he would otherwise be obligated for. Could go in nearest the Beis HaKnesses, such as lights for the shul, or the mitzvah for other mitzvah things. But you should only give it to the poor people. Nowadays, that generally does include giving to educational institutions, which otherwise people would not be afford to pay for. If a mitzvah presented itself, for example, to circumcise one's child, one's son, or to bring a bride and groom who are poor to get married to the chuppah, etc., or likewise to buy safarim, to Jewish books to learn from them, and they'll lend them out to others to learn from them too. Because they can't afford to buy otherwise without using this 10%. And they wouldn't be able to do this mitzvah, they wouldn't do this mitzvah from their own money. In this case, if they can't afford it, they wouldn't do it otherwise, they can do so from Masa. If one does use this Masa money in order to buy safarim, a person should be meticulous to lend them out to others. Unless he needs them, as I who paid them when he would come first. The person takes precedence over his own safarim, even if he's brought it with stock of money. A person should also be careful to write in the inside of them that they are bought from master money, in order that his children afterwards should not hold on to them as if they are their possessions. Someone who wants to gain merit for themselves, he should control himself, he should restrain his yitzra hara, his evil inclination, and open his hand generously. And everything that he does as a mitzvah should be as of the best and beautiful. If you build a shul, it should be more beautiful than the house he lives in. If you feed someone who's hungry, Yachileu mi'atoiv mi'amotiv sham shulchan. He should feed him from the best and from the sweetest food on his table. Kissa orim, if one clothes the naked, Yachaseu ma'ofesh b'ksasei. You should clothe him from the most beautiful, from the best of his clothes. Hikdish davar, yakdish me'ofesh b'nechasav. And if a person dedicates something of his to Hashem, to charity, he should dedicate for the most beautiful things of his possessions. It says in Vayikra, Kol chelev laHashem, all the fat, meaning all the best things, shall belong to Hashem. Sif Vav. Hanesin avanav v'nosav hagadolim she'einam chayav b'mzayneseim she'im yosim mibnei sheishalim. Someone who gives charity to his sons and daughters who are older, who one isn't any longer obligated to provide for them. And here Kitzur says in brackets because they are older than 6 years, which means that seemingly in these days, when he was writing this, the chiyuv to provide for one's children was only when they were really young. In order to teach them Torah, or to lead one's daughters in the right way. Likewise, one who gives presents to one's father, who cannot afford to support him except from his charity money. And they really need this. And this is included in stocker, meaning that one can use stocker money to support one's ailing parent or older children's education, Torah education. Not only that, but one needs to give money to one's family before one gives money to others. And even if it's not actually his son or his father, but it's a relative, that still comes before anyone else. Charity starts at home. Poor people of his house precede poor people of his city. Poor people of his own city take precedence over poor people of another city. As it says in Pasuk in Devarim, to your brother, to the poor, and to the destitute in your land. However, one who is a gabbai, that means he is assigned to distribute public charity funds. He doesn't have this right, and he's got to be careful that he doesn't give more to his own relatives, more so than to other poor people. Thank you for watching.